Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson. We are using the Johnson edition, and we turned out a poem 471, A Night There Lay the Days Between. Another poem about Emily's pain. She can't sleep, and this is one of the things that makes Emily so amazing, is that she speaks to the realities of our lives, and she does it in such a powerful and poetic way. For example, the word sleep never actually occurs in this poem, and yet we'll figure out it's insomnia that she's dealing with. Now, why? We're never going to know, which is kind of typical of Emily in that regards. It's almost like another one of her riddle poems, as we've been calling them. Our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net, down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist. I'm hopeful that you've worked through our set of introductory comments, as well as the preceding 470 poems. We just finished with 470, I Am Alive, I Guess. Now here, Emily will share both the joys and the pains of her life, as we've seen in so many of our previous poems, and we'll see in many more to come. The symbolism of night and day and the power of opposites are going to be a chief issue for us here as well. Now, we'll immediately think about Christ in the garden, and I know that Emily would want us to go here with Matthew 26, verse 40 and following, where Emily is struggling to try to come to terms with something that's keeping her awake. She can't sleep and it's bugging her, and she moves from one night through the day to the next night, etc. And again, note here in this poem the genius of the word sleep never actually appearing. She says it this way: A night there lay the days between. The day that was before and day that was behind were one. And now 'twas night was here, slow night that must be watched away, as grains upon a shore, too imperceptible to note, till it be night no more. Now, again, I can't help but read a set of lines like this and not think about Christ in the Matthew 26 passage, where we're told that around verse 40, he's in the Garden of Gethsemane. He knows that he soon will be taken for his death, and he can't sleep. And of course, he sweats drops of blood, we're told. I also can't help but think about William Blake's Auguries of Innocence. You'll remember, quote, "To see a world in a grain of sand, and a human in a wild flower. Hold infinity in the palm of your hand, and eternity in an hour." And it seems to me that this is the game that Emily's playing. By the way, notice the repetition of the word night, where we'll have it 4 times, and the word day, we'll have it 3 times. She'll begin by saying, a night, and then her dash. There lay the days, notice capitalized, between. Notice, it's like there's all this life that's happening, but she somehow moves from night to night without any sense or recognition of what's in between the day. Notice the day that was before and the day that was behind were one. There's no ability to differentiate. And now 'twas night. Notice these dashes. Dash was here. Dash. The breathlessness of the dashes here is compelling. And then the word slow, which may be the key word of this poem. Night that must be watched away. This is brilliant, the way she'll say it. Watched meaning to keep the watch, to stay awake. Only here it's obvious she's not pleased with the fact she can't sleep. She just, we know, can't sleep. As grains upon a shore. Again, the use of Blake here, I think, makes some sense. The idea here being that it's just one more of these long nights and I can't sleep, and then I move into the next day. Too imperceptible to note. A single grain of sand on a beach is imperceptible because it looks like all the others. Monotonous, we might say. Till it be night no more, waiting again for the next day to appear. I think that our point here at 2a is that life is painful. You'll remember that the Buddha in his insight moment said life is dukkha, life is pain. And I think she's referencing that pain by talking about the inability for any release of that pain through sleep. The repetition is compelling here, and of course the absence of the word sleep is brilliant in this little poem. At 3a, you obviously can think about the yin-yang symbol and night and day and that kind of thing. I think about St. John's of the Cross and the dark night of the soul, as we've spoken about at learnstrong.net. The idea, of course, borrowed, T.S. Eliot borrowed this heavily in his four quartets as well. The idea that we have to go through certain kind of things where avoidance of sleep matters. We think obviously the Epic of Gilgamesh as well, how often to be proved worthy you have to go without sleep. Here, for Emily, this is just pain and suffering. Again, we don't know what it is that has kept her up. Is it relational? Is it something she's lost or something she's missing? We just don't know. Finally, at 3B, to own a poem like this, what was a time when you struggled with sleep? That is to say, day unto day. Thank you.